All right, here we are with Vlad, Hernan, and Tristan. Thank you guys for being here. And why are you here? Maybe that's the first question because some of you might not know you. Yeah, you're invited because of this guy. Free beer, that's validated.
This is a way to get mentors to say we're going to have some girls there and we're going to have free beer and yeah, you'll have to mentor some people.
You'll have some fun.
So next time, girls, throw money.
All right, Vlad. So we're here because we want to know what was the focus of this Startup Weekend and what was the experience of this one. I know that this is your second one. You're the organizer of the second one, right?
Yeah, and second one in Monterrey, my eighth Startup Weekend in a year. Well, the difference this time is that what I wanted to do is focus it more on the customer validation part. In the last couple of Startup Weekends, we did try to focus more, especially on the first part of the weekend, to actually get out of the building, identify their clients and talk to their clients, or run like what's your, Facebook campaigns to get real users for their product. So this time we brought these guys that are like the experts in what's growth hacking, and customer development, and we brought them here to spread the knowledge.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, what about you guys? So you're here. You were mentoring all this weekend, and well, you've been on that, and you're still on that somehow. And what has been your experience until now? And what are you seeing that's actually different from maybe the ones that you see at home or whatever?
So we were just discussing this. I think they're actually roughly comparable to what's going on in Silicon Valley. Obviously, we'll see more at the final presentation, so we don't know the whole story yet. But the other Startup Weekends I've gone into in Mexico also are also very much comparable to what's going on in Silicon Valley. Just the elements, just the fact that lean startup has become so pervasive of an idea, the idea that you can't just build something and expect millions of people to spontaneously arrive and buy your product. Like that concept has become so pervasive throughout the world that I think a lot of the Startup Weekends are starting to converge with the Lean Startup Machine, which is the other sort of hackathon based on Lean Startup principles, to kind of come to this middle ground, where of course you have these some teams which will, yes, sit in the closet and build something maybe technically cool but have 0 users, but a lot of people will just spend the entire weekend somewhere outside talking to customers and fetching them, or using economic techniques to scavenge them through Facebook and Google AdWords and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So I think it's pretty impressive what's going on, particularly here in Mexico.
Nice. That was a quick view about it, and yours is?
Well, I was really impressed, like, day one. One of the teams, they had this idea about splitting the bills when you go to a restaurant or to a bar. So the first thing they did, they didn't do anything, like they didn't draw something or like start, they didn't do like the prototyping thing or anything. They just went out of the building. Like, they just took the whole team, they divided, they say, okay, we're going to offer one free beer for feedback, and they focus on the problem, they focus on the people. They came back with a lot of information, and based on that, they started, creating things based on people, on human beings, on what they need, what their needs are, or how they can like solve that problem. But they first focus on people, on problems.
Yeah.
And I think that was amazing. It was incredible that it was like 9 p.m. like 1 hour after they got selected, they did that, and I think that was awesome.
Although granted, part of the motivation was, well, it's 9 p.m. It's time for us to get a beer.
Yeah, that's right.
That might be.
That was incredible, and the value proposition for the The people was incredible.
Very good, yeah.
Great. So there is this atmosphere of not just hacking products, but now I feel like they are hacking validation, they are hacking growth, they are hacking all those processes that used to take a lot of time. Like it used to take a lot of time to create a product. In Stanford, Steve Blank they have this, I think it's like 4 weeks or 12 weeks program.
Course was
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 12-week program, something like that, where they have to interview people. And most of these startups, they come with like, like 50 interviews, 40 interviews in 3 months. And now these guys are having 40 people, 40 interviews in less than, nothing.
A few hours.
Yeah. So, yeah, now it's like everything is shrinking, everything is faster, everything is hacking. So, I think it was an incredible experience to see how people that they don't code, they are absorbing this hacking culture, and they are moving fast and breaking things. So, I'm really satisfied with what I saw in Monterrey. I think it's for me was a new experience to see everybody hacking, even the business people, management people.
That's the best when you have an only business person team who actually manages to get customers. Like that's always really impressive.
Yeah, they were moving fast, and it's like the same thing that you do in coding, like you take code and you twist it. They actually found a way, okay, how can we make this faster? And they say, okay, there is a bar, there are a lot of people, there is a faster way to do this instead of just interviewing one by one. They have this mentality of
Yeah.
So,
and just by approaching, right, it has some value. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta jump in. So.
Yeah, I really even like, I love it when I see, there's always like one guy who manages to be super, super honest with himself and gets out of the building and talks to people and discovers within a day that his business idea is absolutely terrible. That should not be done. And I always get really excited. They're always like a little bit depressed on Saturday. But then like you say, they're like, wow, I was going to spend the next year doing that. And now like 24 hours finished. And then they're immediately working on their next idea. So I'm really excited to see that guy's presentation today.
That's Airlock.
Hmm?
Airlock. Or which one was it?
I'm not going to
Oh, no names. Great.
but I think I'm excited for it because I want to see what else he's come up with, what his next step is. So.
Great.
Actually, what I found is that normally they come with an idea that's basically something their idea is their love. They fell in love with the proposition they have. And it's actually a solution for something, their idea. The only problem is they have to find someone who has a problem that works with their solution. And some of them just don't want to let go. This is great. I thought up all this, application, and it's going to be great, but hey, nobody needs that. No. I still have to, and they keep like looking and finding excuses to find people that would use their application.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the guys from Guacamole, we had them like almost said they disappeared yesterday, and then they came back today and they were like, I asked them, where were you? Why weren't you here? They were like, our clients are not here.
Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah, that was good.
Alejandro and I pretty much threw them out on Friday because they were discussing like their ultimate revenue strategy, whether they would license or sell direct. And we were like, well, you don't have a product and you don't have customers, so what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Like this is a silly conversation. I'm also very excited to see them, hopefully because they're bringing samples of their guacamole.
That's interesting too. And we had another thing that was like a solid product, not a digital product, right? Besides the one. Yeah, and is there another one? That's the only one, right? The other ones are all digital.
Well, there's the Airlock guys. That's basically like a service.
Oh yeah, somehow they need to store something.
There are some of them which have possible physical elements to it, but those physical elements haven't been bought, so they've managed to hack around it by offering either a service or a web service, or a sort of, not paper prototype, but like baked it with their own computer. So I think that's perfectly legitimate. Some people don't have the machine shop available to make their physical product.
And finish it in a weekend, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. And do you think like something in the startup weekend should be changed or like tropicalized because of the culture or something like that? Or do you think that you can actually generate like some sort of checklist? Or when you're mentoring, you see obviously different kinds of characters in each team, right? So you might just go like, should I go with the cheat sheet, you know, the quick start guide for a startup weekend? And I know, for example, after it was one of the first presentations, you did a presentation about growth hacking, and everyone went out and everyone was like so excited, but they didn't know what the heck to do with it. So it's wonderful information, and you went with each of the teams just trying to figure it out. What was their like funnel, their conversion funnel, all that stuff. Some of them were familiarized with the concept, and some of them weren't. And you might see like the same kind of language in some of them, and suddenly, yesterday I spoke with you, Tristan, and we were like, you and I had the same feeling. Some of them are not even synchronized in the same team, so we have like some problems there too.
But to be honest, like, I don't think the point of the startup weekend, and I've never felt this way, that the point of the startup weekend was to teach you 1, 2, 3 how to do a startup. That may be what some people get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
But startup weekend is very much an experiential. It's an experience.
It's an experience.
It is everything about the startup, including the highs and the lows, within a very compact period of time. So it enables you to just feel what can be accomplished. What are the possibilities if I just get, 1 or 2 committed people to do something over the weekend? Like, that's what it's about. It's not about, yes, you're going to continue with this startup idea.
Finishing or something.
Like, a lot of them came in with the idea and were like, what do you think about Mark Zuckerberg's idea? Yes, like, that's what I want to do this weekend.
Oh,
and I think that's
geez.
bullshit.
Yeah.
But after the weekend, they start realizing, holy cow, this is hard work, but it's exhilarating, it's fantastic, and if I can only connect with human beings, customers, and human beings, my partners and co-founders, then you can do something amazing. So forget about the checklist.
Yeah, great.
Actually, the last time we had, for every team, we had a small canvas. It was not a great idea because most of the teams spent Saturday just
Trying to build a model.
No, placing post-its. That's what they did all day. And in general, in Aguascalientes, they have this. I don't know why they have like a diagram of what the business model is, like a sum of several other concepts. So people were trying to do that. At the moment they have like a checklist, they start playing like the meta, so the meta game of building a startup. So they see it as a checklist. So I don't care about the end product of doing something that really works and has customers.
I care about finishing this.
Finishing the checklist.
You're right.
In Startup Bus, they had one of the requirements was to have 100 emails in their launch rock page.
So stupid.
It's like they were all just calling their friends saying, please sign up.
Yeah, that sucks. There's one generic criticism of, and this happens just because so many different startup weekends and the startup machines are run by slightly different people. So they have slightly different priorities and slightly different emphasis. Like having a cookie cutter approach to it is universally bad. If you get a team which is really excited but they're stubborn and they're fixated on their idea,
They might just do it.
Personas, like yeah, just do it. And when you hit your head against a brick wall in 24 hours, the mentors will be there for you.
Yeah, they can come over and put something else to destroy the wall and get over there, right?
But it just doesn't work if they fixate on one tactic. It always winds up screwy for some of the team.
Great. So, just one single experience, something that you get out of this too, because you as mentors also might learn something. And I'm pretty sure that everyone is going to talk about what they learned from you guys and from the experience, but I'm pretty sure that you learned too. So, did you actually learn something that you would like to share? And that would be my final question.
I mean, um, I was fascinated by the fact that, you know, they were having fun by going out, and I really love the approach they took, like just going out and get some drinks and at the same time validating ideas, So for me that was interesting, like you can learn from anywhere, and actually going to a bar where your potential customers are and talking to them and offering them beers. I think it was an amazing approach, so that was something that I will probably do.
Yeah, you learned that.
I will do that.
Cool.
I think it's a really cool way to learn,
Yeah.
To talk to your customers.
And fun.
Yeah. It's really important.
How about you?
Yeah, so I helped one team through an exercise that was called Dump and Sort on a 2x2 grid. I can't explain it to the camera, but it's basically a prioritization exercise.
Mm-hmm. Important versus urgent or something like that?
Well, in this case it was important versus feasible. And you sort basically post-its on this axis, and you're trying to find what is the most important and most feasible. And what sometimes happens is that all the teammates tend to put everything in the important and urgent box, because they know that's the box that gets done. And then of course the exercise fails. But what I realized when working with them is that that matrix could be used as a diagnostic tool to figure out what was going wrong. So I realized looking at what they had on their post-its that the reason they were all in the high priority, high feasibility range was that all three team members had a different
approach.
No, they had a different impression of who their customer was. So according to their customer, they were all thinking in terms of their customers, which was good. But since all of them were thinking of different customers, different things were in the high priority.
Interesting.
So they had to take a step back and say, okay, you need to sync up and externalize what the persona that you're targeting is, and then compare and contrast and pick one to move forward with. So that was interesting for me. I hadn't thought of it as specifically a diagnostic tool.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. And Vlad, I've been in other startup weekends, and I've seen like a ton of mentors, a lot of them national ones, some academic ones, some maybe without this kind of experience and that sort of stuff. I saw a few mentors in this event, and both of you international ones. I mean, Mexico's not your home, right? So I think that their approach is super ultra valuable, and they're really cool. And that was different from other events. Why did you figure this out, or because you're Romanian, right? That's why.
Romanian, Venezuelan,
yeah.
Actually, I saw it went well in Aguascalientes. Startup Weekend, they only have like 3 mentors, 2 international ones. One was via Skype actually, and what I saw is that it helped build more intimacy with the teams. Like the mentors really had the time to see all the teams, and the teams have time for the mentors, because if you have like 20 mentors there, when
interrupted.
You're continuously interrupting them.
Jeez, we have to.
So,
thanks for your time.
That's one of the startup teams.
You're right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks to the 3 of you, and it was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.